Good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? Wait a minute, that's not loud enough. Okay, I'm going to ask you one more time. How are you today? Woo! Okay, great. Hi. Well, welcome, ladies, gentlemen, student finalists, parents, Stillman students, faculty, and judges. Good afternoon and welcome to the 9th Annual Pirates Pitch Competition for high school students. I am Susan Sherrick, Director of the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and I am honored to be part of this very exciting afternoon. You're going to see the best of our nation's high school students as they pitch their innovative and creative startup ideas to a distinguished panel of faculty and entrepreneur judges as they compete for over $50,000 in scholarships and cash prizes. Both Dr. Joy Strouser, Dean of the Stillman School of Business, and Dr. Katia Passerini, Interim President of Seton Hall University, send you their very best wishes and regards. Unfortunately, Dean Strouser cannot be here to welcome you in person as she had a last-minute scheduling conflict, so I am filling in for her. Our student finalists started their journey to Seton Hall today by submitting an essay which described an innovative product or service that they wish to create or have already created. Their submissions were selected from a total 170 applications we received from 18 states and 5 foreign countries. You are amazing young people, and we are honored to host you in our event this afternoon. You are talented, passionate, and demonstrate the can-do entrepreneurial spirit that we need more than ever to help the world solve the many challenges that we face today. And now, please let me introduce the folks who have the hardest job of the afternoon, our judges. Sunny Bathla, Senior Vice President and Chief Growth Officer, Sonata Software, and founder of OSB Co. Sunny is a Stillman alumnus and also a member of the advisory board for the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Dr. Elizabeth McCrae, Associate Professor of Management and Entrepreneurship, and created our entrepreneurship concentration. Alyssa Lopez, a Stillman alumna who is founder and CEO of Family Balance Planner and a product marketing manager at Pulse Point. Additionally, Alyssa is a first-place winner in the Seton Hall Collegiate Pirates Pitch Contest. She is a member of the advisory board of the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And Victor Gomez, manager of Seton Hall Esports, is an accomplished alumnus who has been instrumental to the founding, creation, and growth of the university's Gaming Sector Club and the current esports program at Seton Hall, which is a 2-time Big East League of Legends champions and 2-time Rocket League champions. So a round of applause for our judges. Now, I would like to introduce to you another special guest. Rosemary Stanchuk is the 2018 first place winner in the Pirates Pitch for High School Students competition. This past May, she graduated from Seton Hall with a BS in biology and a minor in psychology. She is currently pursuing an MBA in the Stillman School with a concentration in business analytics. Rosemary, can you please come to the podium?
Thank you, Professor Sherrick. I first wish to welcome you all to Seton Hall University and congratulate you on making it as a top 10 finalist. I hope you are incredibly proud of yourselves because you have already competed against multiple people to earn your place here today. This is truly a phenomenal achievement. It feels like it was just yesterday that I was sitting in this auditorium getting ready to take the stage and present my idea of a cake pop bakery, which is known today as Fresh Baked by Rosie. a business that I am still successfully running today, and which I will be going home to make treats for this weekend after this competition. I remember how excited I was, but I was also extremely nervous. I'm here to tell you that these anxious thoughts were not necessary. As a high school student, presenting in front of deans, professors, and extremely successful mentors, who are the judges, can be intimidating. I was so nervous, I asked my mother to sit outside while I presented in fear that I would disappoint her. She was worried waiting for me, but I came out full of energy and extremely excited when I was done presenting, as I was so happy, and the judges' feedback it was just simply constructive and positive and was there to help me grow my business. Sorry, I'm getting over a little something. I quickly realized that the Seton Hall community was extremely constructive, nurturing, and uplifting. Being given the opportunity to compete and also win the first place prize in scholarship funding not only helped me to invest into my business with taking classes involving baking and buying new equipment necessary to, again, bake and create different foods, but it also gave me a chance to attend this university as an undergraduate student where I was able to grow educationally, personally, and professionally. This is currently my 5th year at Seton Hall, and my first interaction with faculty and students was here at this competition. It laid down the foundation for my educational future, as well as creating a new home for me. I want you all to take the time to ask any of us questions, whether it's to me about the university and being an undergraduate student and a graduate student, or if it's Professor Sherrick about the extensive opportunities offered to you by the Entrepreneurship department here, or if it's asking our knowledgeable judges about the next step in building your business, we are here to help you. Don't be afraid of us. I encourage you to reach out with anything and everything that comes to mind. We are a community, and you will later find out that we are a family. I hope to see you all back here in the coming years on stage as a potential Seton Hall student competing in our collegiate level Pirates Pitch competition. Remember to remain calm on stage. It's okay. And I wish you the best of luck. I'm so very excited to see these incredible business pitches. And I know high school and the college admissions process is extremely stressful and not easy. So I urge you to take this time today to live in the moment and forget all of that for now. Thank you, and I can't wait to see what you all have to present today.
Thank you, Rosemary. You know, you never know where life is going to lead you, but I always say to my students, I believe that 80% of life, 90% of life is just showing up. And you showed up, you applied to the contest, you came here today, and I think that says so much about all of you finalists and everyone here today. That's great. Now we're going to go on to the format, and thank you, Rosemary. The students will each have 5 minutes to present their ideas to our judges. After a student presentation, the judges will then have 5 minutes to ask questions. The contest judges will be looking for creative and innovative thinking about markets, products, and services. Okay, and students, right here, Rosemary is joining Cameron Lloyd, another student entrepreneur. When you get to 2 minutes left on your presentation, they'll hold up a sign. When 1 minute is left, they'll hold up a sign. Do not worry, no one is going to yell, "Stop" to you. We will just gently say, "Please wrap up now, your time is over." So don't worry about anybody cutting you off mid-sentence. We're very gentle about that, okay? But do try to keep to your 5-minute limit. Good. Okay, once the presentations are complete, the judges will retire to deliberate while we hold an Audience Choice Award. During the Audience Choice Award, we will ask all of you to cast a vote for your favorite finalist via your cell phone text function. The judges will rejoin us shortly afterwards, and we will announce the winners. The first place winner will receive a $2,500 cash prize plus $10,000 scholarship to SHU. Second place winner will receive a $1,000 cash prize plus a $6,000 scholarship to Seton Hall. All other finalists receive $4,000 scholarships to Seton Hall, and our Audience Choice Award winner will receive $300. Okay, please let me introduce now the Stillman students who are assisting us to run today's contest. They're Entrepreneurship Club Executive Board members, and they either run their own businesses or are developing business models towards launching a startup. Kiara Saeed, Cameron Lloyd, Annie Rockety, and Jerry Ford. Also, Olivia D'Amato, I'd like to say thank you to. She is our center's social media specialist, and she and Annie are our technical team today. I would now like to invite Kiara Saeed, the co-president of the Entrepreneurship Club, to the stage to announce the names of our finalists. When Kiara finishes, we will start our finalist presentations, and best of luck to everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm just going to go through our finalists in order of presentations. So first up we have Rafael Flores, a senior from Carlstadt, New Jersey, attending Don Bosco Preparatory High School. His startup idea is Ecos. Next up we have Julia Lavolsi, a senior from Glen Rock, New Jersey, attending Glen Rock High School. Her startup idea is Bliss Bars. Next, we have Gary Katarshi, a junior from Edison, New Jersey, attending Edison High School. Her startup idea is Therapose. Next up, we have Nicole Freiler, a senior from Park Ridge, New Jersey, attending Park Ridge High School. Her startup idea is Tidy Brush. Next, we have Matthew Choi, a senior from Fort Lee, New Jersey, attending Fort Lee High School. His startup idea is Tech Cycle. Next, we have Kashagra Sadwal, a junior from Princeton Junction, New Jersey, attending West Windsor Plainsboro High School South. His startup idea is Mr. MD. Next, we have Jonathan DeCaro, a junior from Moodus, attending CREC Academy of Aerospace and Engineering. His startup idea is Know the Price. Next, we have Rachel Makoko, a sophomore from Jersey City, New Jersey, attending McNair Academics High School. Her startup idea is Mercs. And lastly, we have Kevin Zong, a sophomore from Annandale, New Jersey, attending North Huntington High School. His startup idea is Etherstar. So a round of applause for our finalists, please. And so before I invite up our first finalist, I would just like to give everyone good luck. Just remember to stay confident and stay calm. You guys are all going to do great, and we're all excited to see your presentations. So first up, I would like to invite Rafael Flores.
So there's no worse feeling than working really hard and not having some extra money to do the things you love with your family. This was the case for Mr. Collin. he was a fellow mom and pop landlord who got into the property rentals to do just this, make some extra money so that he could take his friends and family out for some nice dinners, maybe a nice family vacation at the end of the year, or even just some funds for a rainy day. However, a side hustle he thought would be quick and easily quickly proved to be overwhelming, and he saw that there was no real solution for mom and pop landlords to make their jobs even simple and less overwhelming. My name is Rafael Flores, CEO and co-founder of Ecos. My team and I sought an app to leap forward into whole real estate app experience to provide delightful new features that make your job as a mom and pop landlord less overwhelming and, importantly, intuitive. Ecos, a software as a service, delivers a more expressive way to better discover your tenants, better manage your rentals, and an all-new way to collect your rent as a mom and pop landlord. Before we begin, let's focus on some major features that make your job as a mom and pop landlord smooth sailing. Profit calculations, direct messages, security, tenant discovery, and payment. As a landlord, payment calculations are essential. If you're a landlord, it's important to know whether or not your rentals are gaining you profits or digging a hole into your pockets. This is why we're giving our mom and pop landlords a way to calculate their expenses and profits all in a single app, unlike competitors who all use third-party applications. It's simple, just enter the basic information necessary by our spreadsheets, and you'll have your generated estimations of your expenses and profits. Next, we have a new feature that allows you to receive reports from your tenants. As a traditional landlord, when your tenant has an issue, they'll begin to spam your phone, and it's hard to know whether or not the issue with your tenant is something urgent or your tenant just being irritating about a small problem. With direct reports, your tenant can fill out an issues form that assures them that, as a landlord, their issue will be fulfilled and fixed within the landlord's set time frame. Direct reports not only provide a peace of mind to our landlords, but it also preserves security, which is essential in the real estate industry. For security, Ecos requires essential information from both landlords and tenants to make sure that if you're a landlord, your tenant is credible, and if you're a tenant and a searcher, you won't run into any slum landlords. Finally, tenant discovery and rent collection are all updated. Using Ecos is even faster and more convenient than any third-party apps on the market. First, Eco makes sure that the searcher's experience is desirable with their swipe and match feature, which will be explained within the next slide. And for scheduled payments set up between you and your tenant, collecting your rent is made even easier through payment gateways such as Apple Pay and Google Pay, so that you're not chasing around your tenant for any rent. For searchers, the experience is updated. Like mentioned before, unlike market leaders such as Zillow and Apartments.com, you're scrolling through a bunch of listings. However, with our swipe and match method, it leaves our users engaged, ensuring that they're continuous in their search for that perfect rental. Also, this is perfect for our landlords, as their listings will be viewed, allowing us to allow them to focus on the most important feature of all, spending more time with their family instead of worrying about missing out on potential profits due to vacant rentals. So with the staggering 50 million landlords across the United States, the time to tap into the real estate industry is right now. Our initial focus is on New Jersey, focusing on landlord underdogs, which are our mom and pop landlords. They're your typical family who rents out their properties for some extra income. Market leaders don't intend to help mom and pop landlords, instead focus on the big dogs in the industries, such as landlords who own multiple apartment complexes or even just commercial real estate. We're targeting about 19,000 mom and pop landlords within the United States, which is a strategic strategy to aim for high revenues while maintaining manageability to adjust our app. So how we're making money. Our core values center around allowing mom and pop landlords to keep a majority of their profits. With that being said, Ecos is taking a minimal 4% in comparison to traditional property management firms that take anywhere to 20% of a landlord's profits. In the financial statements provided in front of you, you can see more of how that revenue is broken down, and also what else goes into our revenue streams, which are subscriptions. Finally, our competitions focus more on the big dog landlords, such as the ones that mentioned before are the ones with multiple apartment complexes, and also those who focus on commercial real estate. With that being said, we're trying to help our mom and pop landlords focus on the bigger picture of hand, which is spending more time with their family while also still being able to make some extra income. With that, I conclude my presentation. Second to last slide. Okay, that's good. Oh, okay. So with that being said, I conclude my presentation, and I'd like to thank you all for listening. So my final question to you is, are you ready to help mom and pop landlords like Mr. Collin create more opportunities to spend time with his family without worrying about money?
Thank you. Thank you so much for an interesting presentation. I just have a really informational question. What does TAM, SAM, and SOM stand for?
So TAM, SAM, and SOM. TAM stands for the target audience market, which is basically everyone that falls under the category of landlords in the United States. So that's basically how many landlords there are in the United States. SAM stands for the serviceable addressable market, which is who we're intending to target, which are the New Jersey mom and pop landlords. And then the SOM is who we hope to acquire, which are the 19,000 mom and pop landlords in New Jersey.
Great, thanks, Rafe. Great job. So in explaining your problem, I picked out two that popped up in my head. You mentioned discovering tenants and managing rentals. So I kind of just wanted to understand a little bit more about how you see Ecos going up against big competitors like Zillow, and what would really differentiate your service and why a landlord would want to choose you.
Yeah, so definitely, like I mentioned before, Zillow and Apartments.com, they're a big cost factor for mom and pop landlords who don't have the money to really spend on these platforms, because they are targeted more towards the well-established landlords, those focusing with multiple apartment complexes, and those in commercial real estate. So Ecos helps our mom and pop landlords by providing them a less expensive solution without compromising quality.
Okay, so the biggest differentiator is the fee you mentioned, that
Yes,
you're 4%
definitely.
versus their 20%.
And then also the how we get searchers to find their apartments, which is through the swipe and match feature.
Great, thanks.
So how are the mom and pop landlords going to find out about Ecos?
So through our marketing, we're intending to target them through Instagram ads, definitely through TikTok, and then also Facebook for the generations that still use Facebook, as mom and pop landlords are mostly on Facebook to sometimes simply find their tenants, or through like Craigslist. That's how they sometimes find their tenants as well.
Have you thought about targeting the real estate agents? You know, I'm a landlord too. I don't know if I'm a mom and pop, but we use a commercial software to manage our real estate properties. But I would say that the real estate agent is how I list my properties, you know, for rental. So that might be a target area for you to target.
Yeah, we have talked about that. We have been discussing ways to include realtor agents. However, we have not gotten to that yet. But we're definitely focusing more on like the mom and pop landlords who have not really like gone to realtor agents to find their tenants.
What does the landlord get for that 4% fee that you're charging?
So it's just a simpler solution for how they collect their rent. So if they're choosing to collect their rent through our in-app process, that's just a small percent that we take out, which is just the whole feature itself is just saving our landlords time collecting their rent, as payment gateways such as Apple Pay and Google Pay are used very often every day in a typical person's life.
Thanks.
So you mentioned the 4% fee, but on your financials, I see different tiers of subscription model. Who is paying that subscription model, and what are they getting out of it?
So the subscriptions are for the landlords. So they're not forced to buy the subscriptions. However, it's just there because it comes with better benefits. Those subscriptions come with different tiers of benefits, where Zillow and Apartments.com, they do charge landlords to simply place their apartments onto their sites. So this is just the easier solution for mom and pop landlords who don't want to pay those prices, as our prices are less competitive than theirs.
Thank you.
Okay, I think time's up. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rafai. Now we would like to invite Julia Lavolsi.
Hi, everyone. It's great to meet all of you. Let's get started. I founded my concept company, Bliss Bars, last year during my introduction to business class. My passion for creating chocolate started after my trip to Italy, where I was mentored by Perugina chocolate masters on how to create chocolate masterpieces. I created Bliss Bars in order to develop high-quality chocolate using fair trade and ethical business practices. Even in this day and age, child labor and massive deforestation are standard in the global cocoa market. The word bliss evokes happiness, and happiness should be experienced not just by the consumer eating the product, but by the workers responsible for the production as well. We take great satisfaction in our varieties of products and our ethically sourced cocoa from farms that do not grossly underpay workers, use child labor, or human trafficking productions, unlike our competitors. My business would be a part of the Fair Trade Alliance, which is an organization that requires companies to pay a minimum price for cacao beans and a 12.5% premium that goes directly to the workers. Big chocolate companies such as Nestle and Mondelez have their own sustainability courses of action, which in reality don't really make a difference. They're more for marketing and PR reasons. Our products. Bliss Bars will offer a wide selection of products, including our iconic Bliss Bars, our rich Bliss Bombs and Bliss Mix, and our mouth-watering Bliss Bites. Customers can also customize and personalize chocolate orders. Our decadent original Bliss Bars come in a variety of assorted flavors that can be mixed with pieces of candy and other toppings. Bliss Bites are rolled truffles, each bite coated in sprinkles or chocolate, perfect for popping right into your mouth. Bliss Bombs turn your hot chocolate into visual works of art. We also offer pouches of our signature hot cocoa mix, which are perfect for the holidays and the wintertime.
We also have promotion during the holidays. Some items contain golden bliss tickets, and if a lucky customer happens to get one, they'll win a free customizable chocolate bar and a Bliss Bar sweatshirt. Personalized chocolate is also available upon request. If you look up here, here are some of our pricing. Based on market analysis and our high-quality product line, the prices below would align with our business model. As you can see here, the average cost to produce our products is about $2 out of all of them, not just Bliss Bars or Bliss Mix. Our production method and strategy. I plan to make our products in commercial and cloud kitchens to keep creative control, allow consumers to customize bars, and to keep our quality at the highest level. I initially planned on outsourcing our chocolate, but I decided that I wanted to get that creative control and keep that unique to us, and it would set us apart from our competitors. As the face of the brand, I know how to successfully sell a product and myself from my involvement in pageantry and broadcasting. Since my Italy trip, I have had a passion for creating with chocolate, and I've already developed a professional quality website to really make my products stand out, as you can see from these images. Compared to the other brands, Bliss Bars rises above the rest. Unlike Mr. Beast Bars, which is a very popular new brand of chocolate bars, we don't market to a limited audience of people under the age of 35. Other brands, such as Tony's Chocolonely, has a great message, but their company and design don't really efficiently sell their products. Like I said, they do have a great message, but Bliss Bars just is better. Sorry. In conclusion, at Bliss Bars, our vision is for everyone to taste sweet moments of bliss every day. And our mission statement is blissfully redefining chocolate production, one bar at a time for a better world. Thank you, everyone. I will now be accepting questions.
Great, thank you so much, Julia. Also, that was really informative. I didn't know that most chocolate brands aren't fair trade, and I did a quick Google search, so absolutely right. That's something to think about. One question that I have for you is about your target customers. So you mentioned about your competitors and how one of them only targets people under the age of 35. So who will you be going after?
Well, obviously the answer would be everybody, but more specifically, older customers, more conservative customers who believe that, well, why would I want to spend more money on ethically sourced chocolate? Well, here are the reasons why. The cocoa business is a very, very messed up market, and we're here to expose that and to provide a different resource.
Okay, that's interesting. One thought that I have for you is potentially parents. So I have a nephew, and one thing that he did at Chocolate Worlds recently was creating a custom chocolate bar. I didn't even know that was a thing. So potentially parents, if you're thinking about older customers, they could be, parents with small children could be a target audience. Thanks.
Of course. Thank you.
Great presentation. I wish you brought samples.
That's a long story. We made samples and it didn't work out, but.
I'm joking, it's all right. So, you know, I was listening to Mr. Beast. You know Mr. Beast? So Mr. Beast had a podcast recently where he was telling everybody how he makes money. And I think last year he generated $200 million selling Mr. Beast bars. So there's definitely a market, you know, to target, you know, young consumers, especially my kids who are Mr. Beast fanatics. Yeah. And I think it's, you know, a good presentation you made. But how are you going to make money? Meaning in this, to buy and source all that chocolate to source these bars. Did you think about that, pricing the ingredients? And I saw some price points in the bar, but I didn't see revenue projections or a P&L.
Okay. Well, our startup cost would be about $10,000. That's accounting for cloud kitchens, which I talked about, but I'll go in more detail into that. Cloud kitchens are basically spaces. They're like cuticle-sized kitchens where you can rent them for about $35 an hour or $250 for the day. So that's where we'd be making our products. We would have to account for our branding and our packaging and transporting the cocoa from the farms to our kitchens. So that's $10,000. From there, we would have to grow as a company. And though I can't predict revenue sales currently, because obviously I'm not selling the products yet, I can assume we'd be making money because, like I said, each bar costs about $2 to make, and we're making a profit about $6 for every bar we sell, or every product we sell. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Again, great presentation. What I would say is, just as a piece of advice, when you're thinking about those price points, keep in mind you want it to be part of the Fair Trade Alliance. That means that your workers need to get paid very well, right?
Yes.
As well as the farmers. So that price may need to come up, just as a heads up, because that market cap price is based on not usually Fair Trade Alliance prices, and that's just because, as you mentioned, there's a 12.5% that needs to be met, right? So as you grow, wish you all the best of luck. Just keep that in mind, that your price point might need to be a bit higher.
Yeah, when I originally was creating my company, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make all our products super cheap. And then I really looked into it and I was like, this is not realistic. We have to price ours fairly. And our customers will see that. They'll see that they're paying for ethically sourced chocolate. It's gonna be a little bit more, but it's morally right.
Thank you.
You can just project. I can hear you from here.
I enjoyed your presentation very much, made me very hungry. Also, I just wanted to make sure when you are getting to the point where you're going to launch, make sure you're very careful, especially in the summer, because chocolate melts and has to be kept refrigerated, which it really increases your transportation costs as well as your warehousing costs. So make sure you build that in.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Bliss bars could be eaten pretty much season round, but products like Bliss bombs and Bliss mix, those are targeted more winter seasonal items. But yeah, I've accounted for the different factors. But thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
And now we'd like to welcome Gari Geshetri up to the stage with Therapos.
Hello, my name is Gori Khetri, and I'm introducing the perfect solution to reinventing therapy, Therapos. Have you ever felt pain or injuries in certain areas but avoided going to the doctors just because of the hefty costs associated with it, or having to pay out of pocket because your insurance does not cover it? Well, I know I have, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have too. And this is a huge problem. 42% of patients needing physical therapy do not use rehabilitation services just because of the hefty costs associated with it and limited access to healthcare services. Well, we have a solution for you. So the problem is that healthcare is often very expensive since you have to pay out of pocket a lot of times since it's just a specialized healthcare service. Secondly, the lack of reliability. Since a lot of places have different socioeconomic backgrounds, there's different physical therapists that might not have the same skills, and there's a lot of specific results that are needed in physical therapy, such as joint angle and analysis of key anatomical positions that humans may have a lot of error in identifying. And lastly, lack of accessibility. Due to geographical barriers, it's very hard sometimes in low-income areas to have good services for specialized healthcare services and physical therapy. So this limits a lot of target audience in getting access to these resources. Introducing Therapos. Therapos leverages AI-based technology to analyze key anatomical joints in a human body and it compares it to a training set that we've implemented in our model. And using these features, it gives personalized guidance and feedback in real time to the audience using computer vision and motion tracking sensors. So here is a demo that I created using Create ML, and we have implemented this on a Swift application interface. So as you can see here, it says that 100% accurate because I just fed the training data into it. And you can see that as you move with your body, the joints that are labeled using the markers move along. And on the interface side, which you'll see in the next slide, it'll give you real-time feedback that, such as like move up or move down, and it'll tell you exactly what to do. So this is the Swift interface. So you can see that there's connection between the doctor and the user. So the doctor can implement the exercises that the user may need, as well as any tips and any feedback that he or she may have to give the patient. And on the patient interface, you can see that it would include like any progress that the patient would need over time, as well as the growth that they've experienced and any feedback that the doctor has. So our target market, we have 3 layers of target market. So our current target audience would be hospitals and rehabilitation services, since they already have the patients that would need these treatments. And then after, when we are ready to expand even more, we would target people who need physical therapy because this is an essential like need for them. Then we would expand even further into people who are prone to injury because they would become frequent customers, and that way we were able to earn more money. And lastly, we would expand it even more to people who are opposing traditional therapy services, as it would be easy for them to come into our service. So the way we would make money is using software licensing, and this would include like hospitals and specialized services paying for these fees for their patients, and this would be included in your insurance cost, and that would be $1,500 per month for 150 patients. And if there's more patients in this specific service, then you could keep paying that fee. And then on the other hand, for customers that are paying out of pocket, might not have the insurance, or may be going to places that are not in the network, they can pay $50 per month, and they can have their doctor use the platform as well for them. So our competition is wearable technology. Since we are a non-intrusive way of combating physical therapy, you can do it anywhere, which makes us a leading in the market compared to wearable technology. Then we are also better than physical therapy software suites because we're more data-driven, and a human might not be able to accurately tell based on just looking from a camera online. And lastly, traditional therapy services because, as I said, it's more data-driven, and as well as has a personalized side to it with the user interface and the doctor dashboard. Thank you. Any questions?
Great. Great job. Thank you so much for that. So that was really very interesting. It's something that I personally don't know a lot about, but you mentioned 2 different types of customers, the doctors as well as patients, and kind of 2 different types of patients who are seeing physical therapists or patients who are not, maybe because they don't have access to insurance or other accessibility issues. So I was wondering, do you see this app as more of a complementary service that physical therapy centers would provide, or are you trying to kind of circumvent the physical therapy center?
So actually, answering your question, it would go into both because, like I mentioned, like the traditional hospitals and the specialized healthcare sectors that would be implementing this. So for them, it would be like, they would patients would come in to a daily check-in, as well as being able to use this online service. But on the other hand, like I said, like the other type of customers which are using it as like a subscription based, because they either don't have insurance or are unable to like be in network with like hospitals that are like using the service, for them it would be more like a substitute. So it would be complementary for people who are already using the healthcare service, and then for people who are unable and do not have access, it would be more like replacing.
That's really interesting. And I asked that question because I'm wondering, I totally hear the problem you're saying about human error with physical therapy. I wonder if you said that to a physical therapist, how would they feel? You know what I mean? In terms of would they want this complementary app? You know, how would you propose the problem to, you know, and get their buy-in? So it's just something that I'm curious about, whereas I understand the patient problem if they cannot afford physical therapy. So I'm thinking about what's the bigger problem to solve. It might help you define which target market to go after first.
Great, very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. I am not an expert in this area, but to me, this is at least bordering on a medical device, and therefore would probably need to have FDA approval. Have you investigated that at all? And if so, what is your thinking about how you would go about that process?
So all the exercises that will be put into the platform, they would be like checked prior by like medical professionals to make sure that all the exercises that are put are proper. So when the doctor actually chooses the exercise, so from that end, it's the doctor choosing it, so they know which exercise to like put for the patient, what would be good for the patient. So it's not completely removing like the doctor and the patient's like interaction, and also like the model would be checked by like professionals that we would hire to ensure that like the exercise is completely right, like the model is completely accurately telling the patient exactly what to do. So we would hire people on our team, like medical professionals, to check that.
Right, but but the software and the sensors that the people put on their clothing or whatever, I think that might be considered a medical device. And so it's not as rigorous as pharmaceuticals to get FDA approval for that, and I'm not sure if it would be that. So it's not so much what the exercises are or whether or not they're approved by the doctor. It's more your technology, whether or not that is accurate and so on. So anyway, just something food for thought.
And great presentation. Just expanding a bit more on that, patient information being submitted, given the fact that a doctor is going to be reviewing it, will bring in an additional layer of liability that you have to consider, specifically HIPAA, because even though it might just be, hey, this is this patient who's gone through X, Y, or Z procedure and therefore needs X, Y, Z, doctor, can you look after this? That's still personal information from the patient, so just keep that in mind. One of the things that I wanted to ask about was how are you handling the data that's being transmitted back and forth, right? So we speak about accessibility, but is this just on someone's phone? Do we have to have a big margin of data transfer? Is it video? Is it live? How is that part working?
You would have to log into your specific like platform, and for data privacy concerns, we would probably have like cookies there, so like you would accept or deny the cookies, and this would be like a live stream. So like in real time, the joints would move, and in real time on the interface, it would update like, oh, like move your joints like left or right, and it would tell you exactly what to do. So it would not be like a video. So we would not be storing any of that data.
Thank you.
You know, on the data side, you know, GCP, AWS, Microsoft Azure, they all have industry clouds, right? And they also support startups. So there's a great, there's a lot of incentivations for ISVs. So if if you really get deep into this, you can reach out to one of those providers. They have an ISV, focus for startups, and they have industry clouds they provide to provide you, all sorts of data security.
Thank you.
Now we'd like to welcome up to the stage Nicole Freiler with Tidy Brush.
I just got out of a hot shower and it's time to brush my hair. Ew, look at all of this buildup. I wish there was a way I could take this all out without having to use my hands. My name is Nicole Freiler and I'm here to introduce to you Tidy Brush. So what is Tidy Brush and what makes it unique? Tidy Brush is a small portable device consisting of metal rungs made from a metal base. When using Tidy Brush, the brush head is inserted face down into the rungs, and when the brush handle is pulled up, the hair gets trapped within the rungs. Once the hair is removed, both sets of rungs open out from the sides so that the hair can detach from the rungs and go into the garbage untouched. This is not a handheld comb or rake to clean your hairbrush. So this is a prototype that I've created. As you can see, the metal forks are representing the metal rungs that would trap the hair. This is a side view, and this is how the brush would be inserted. Next, continuing, this is hard to see, but this is the hair trapped within the rungs and how it would open from these sides here with your hands so that the hair can be removed and disposed of into the garbage. So, cost of production, so the material breakdown is into a metal base and the metal rods. So, what I originally found were metal rods for the price of $8.99 with the cost of a metal base of $1.25. But looking further into it, I found that mass production is what we're looking to use to create Tidy Brush, and buying in bulk can lower the price when buying in mass production. So I'm looking to buy metal rungs. I found 27 tons of rods for $600. And as you can see, the sale price right now would be $19.99. And through mass production, I would hope for a better profit margin because when buying in bulk, it can help raise the profit margin to 60 or 75%, where it's at now, 50%. The approximate weight would be 4 pounds. So the target market of Tidy Brush is teenagers and adults with long and thick hair, also targeted toward hair salons and beauty schools, and even men with long hair. The market right now is increasing and expanding, so the hairbrush market was valued at $957.1 million in 2022, and is expected to increase to $1.43 billion by 2030, and is also looking to expand in the Asia Pacific in countries like China and Korea. So here are 3 competitors of Tidy Brush that I found. So a key feature of Tidy Brush is that it opens and splits apart so that the hair can come off quickly, and the hair can be readily disposed of. So as you can see with these competitors, these are all hairbrush rakes. So, and this only works for a round brush, and these 2 are just rakes. So what differentiates us is that this is not a rake, it's a device so that when the hair is in the rake, you'll still have to remove it from your hands for it to be disposed of, where Tidy Brush, you will not have to touch the actual hair itself. These are some of the patents I found. So in the first one, as you can see, this goes row by row, cleaning out each row 1 row at a time, whereas Tidy Brush, the hair would be removed completely in one removal. This one is only, this hair detacher is only for one hairbrush, whereas Tidy Brush is versatile and can be used for round brushes, combs, and square brushes. And then this last one is for a cylindrical brush only. So these are some companies that can help license. Ulta Beauty, Conair, looking online, Amazon, and then also some larger department stores like Target and Kohl's. So, who is ready to join the Tidy Brush family and turn your brush from looking like this into this. Thank you.
Hi, great. Thank you so much. This is really interesting. As a person with long hair that I have to comb every day, I definitely understand the struggle. I was wondering, though, it seems like your biggest problem to solve is maybe that people who, with a lot of hair, who get a lot of hair built up in their brushes, don't want to touch the hair to take it out. And it was just interesting, have you done any customer research with your target audience, maybe in the form of surveys, or you could just start by asking around if people are uncomfortable with touching their hair?
Right, so I haven't conducted surveys, but I have gone through word of mouth through my classmates, my soccer teammates, and even my family members who, like me, have similar hair texture, have long hair, and they have found this problem too within their brushes, that there can be a buildup of dandruff within the bristles that can be hard to be removed sometimes, or that they just do not want to touch it with their hands.
Okay. And something else that I'm thinking about, I often use water, so I like to comb my hair, so I feel like the device would also have to be waterproof, because at some point you're going to have to clean the device. I understand what you said about the retractable nature of it, so that you can just maybe throw the hair right into the trash by pressing a button. But I would imagine it might need to be waterproof, because at some point you're going to have to clean it. I don't know.
Right, yes, this would be waterproof so that you'd be able to clean it up. Yeah.
So does the $19.99 come with the brush too, or is it just the device?
No, the $19.99 is just for the device, not with a brush as well.
And is it meant to only fit certain size brushes?
No, so based on the dimensions, it's supposed to fit size, like for a round brush or a square brush or just like handheld brushes. There's no exact, like for this size brush, it can be used for multiple different sizes. It would be large enough. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just think, I don't have the problem, so I
Right.
can't relate, but I think it's a good presentation, good idea. I would dig deep and see, how you would make money from this, meaning in volume, right? So obviously, the weight of the brush seems a little heavy. It says it's 4 pounds. I'm just thinking
Right.
it's a pretty heavy brush. So just, do more research and try to build a POC, and then you can start building a financial model around that based on the cost that it's to develop.
Okay. Thank you.
And then one piece of advice based on that feedback as well, you might want to think about a grander target audience rather than typical consumer. Although, yes, it is an issue. I grew up with a family filled with women, so I'm well aware. But you might want to think about places where sterilization is very important, right? So you mentioned salons. That might be somewhere where you might want to focus, where safety might be an issue, or people don't want to use a brush because they just had a client with lice, and now they have to clean their brush and all that stuff. So just maybe want to think on that. One of the questions that I had is, in terms of those multiple brushes that you mentioned, how does it augment to fit? Because not all brushes are round brushes, some of them are circular. So how does it augment to take care off of those?
So based on the brush, so it's made to use for a square brush, a round brush, and a comb. So it's not going to work for, say, like a cylindrical brush, like something of that model, just based on how it is made, like that it is basically a metal like box base. So it's not going to work for every type of hairbrush, only certain types.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'd like to welcome up Matthew Choi to the stage for his tech cycle presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matthew Choi, and this is my product idea, TechCycle. So allow me to draw your attention to a critical issue plaguing the e-waste recycling industry today: the absence of financial incentives for consumers, coupled with concerns about data security, has discouraged consumers to recycle their e-waste devices. This led to an alarming 85% of electronic discarded devices the past year. And this problem demands an innovative yet intuitive solution, and that is TechCycle. So what are we? We are a self-compacted, environmentally sustainable recycling kiosk designed to revolutionize the recycling market. Our cutting-edge features allows us to give financial incentives to our consumers while also offering data removal plans to enhance consumers' experience. So how the product works is we're going to be using a user-friendly format style where they first log in with their TechCycle accounts, and then they put their device in and answer some questions regarding the conditions of their device. Once they answer the questions, our machine will give you a quick valuation based on your conditions, and consumers have the two options: Eco Essentials, which is our free recycling services, and TechSecure Plus, which gives advanced data removal services mainly for businesses with a charge of $20 per device. Now, after you finish recycling it, we'll show you a receipt to confirm that you recycled your device, and it'll be sent through your email. So operation. Our operation strategy is twofold, starting with a wholesale, which we will use by pre-ordering some of our machines into local and retail stores, and also receiving grants to help cover up our initial startup funds. We'll also be developing So simultaneously, we'll be also creating a strong retail presence, using it not only just as a revenue stream in the long run, but also as a platform to amplify our brand awareness. So to kickstart this initiative, we require an investment of $600,000, allocating fund towards researching and developing the prototype, creating custom software for top-tier customer support, obtaining patents for the design and the technology, and also securing the necessary facilities and machine for production. So based on this, we're going to be producing TechCycle units in bulks of 5 units, with each of them costing around $70,000. We'll be selling them commercially at $250,000 just to make enough room to cost all the reoccurring costs, but also leaving us a bit of profitability. Our marketing strategy towards reaching out to these companies includes showcasing our products at tech conferences, creating impactful media blogs and viral contents on social media, and cultivating widespread product awareness. Looking ahead, in 2024, TechCycle is projected to generate revenue of $460,000 and $494. Our wholesale projection accounts for ongoing expenses such as the software updates, renewing the patents, and upgrading the equipments. Now, in the retail section, our income will be divided into device reselling and data removal devices. Covering the cost, we'll also be covering the costs associated with recycling these devices at specialized facilities. So the demographic for our target market is huge. We're going to be targeting first businesses who want to conveniently get rid of their company devices that could be located just outside their offices, environmental advocates who practice safe recycling, and tech enthusiasts, anyone from ages 20 to 50 who just want to receive quick cash for the devices that they recycle. Now judges, the market for this industry is huge. At the end of 2030, this market is projected to be capped at $189.8 billion, growing at a compounded annual growth of 8.79%. If TechCycle dominates this market, we can return a substantial amount of revenue for both investors and for the company. Finally, we have our competitors. There are not many competitors that provide the same services that we do. The only main one is really Eco ATM, which provides similar services to us, but at a much smaller scalability. Now, there are multi-million-dollar environmental e-recycling companies. However, these operate through brick-and-mortar facilities, so consumers will have to mail in their devices or go to the stores themselves. So TechCycle will be able to outbeat its competitors through its convenient location, instant valuation, data removal plans, and being more technologically superior. So to conclude, TechCycle is not just a business venture. It's a commitment to a sustainable future, a promise to reshape the e-waste recycling landscape. So I would like to invite all of you to join this transformative journey where recycling is not just a choice, but a responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very informative. One question I had is that I know that when you're talking about electronics, there are some valuable materials that are in there, but there are also some toxic materials in there. How do you plan to capture the value from those, the gold and everything, and then how do you plan to protect your workers and the environment from the toxic materials?
Yeah, so we're going to be having a team that's going to be responsible for cycling through these products. So like you mentioned, there are some components that are not really necessary for reselling, and those ones we could just simply dispose of those responsibly, and then we could just buy in the necessary parts to like replace those harmful parts with.
Thanks, Matthew. So this is interesting. Can you tell me a little bit more about what really differentiates you from the competition? Just because, like, why wouldn't I, as a consumer, just go down to my local recycling center? Why would I choose TechCycle?
I'd say our main key factors is definitely convenience and financial incentives. So the data shows that 85% of people do not dispose of their they don't recycle them properly, and it really just comes down to convenience. Some people might just think, I'll just store it in the back of my room. There's no need for me to actually recycle it. Like, what incentive is there for me? And even the services that actually provide money, it's very little. On average, most companies will give you around $20 to $30, and for most people, they just don't find that worth their time. But there are products, because it's a lot more convenient, people can simply, if they just go grocery shopping, they could just see our machine at the end of the cashier and just input their device and just see how much cash they give, because they don't lose anything, because it's going to be around a lot of different places.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? So is the vision for these TechCycle kiosks to be in local grocery stores? Like, when you say convenient, what does that mean for me?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. What is your vision for making it convenient for me as a consumer?
So kind of like a vending machine, just in every local parks, retail stores, offices. We want to even scale up our production so that we provide even like bigger scales of our models, so that companies can like maybe recycle even like televisions or even like bigger products. So kind of just create this like new era of convenience waste e-recycling.
Thank you.
So I have a closet that you can start with in my house. It's got every device for the last 10 years in there. So I guess I understand the concept. It's a great idea. You know, Iron Mountain started, you know, the whole shredding paper back in the day to get rid of data, right? So I think a lot of people don't forget that they need to recycle their device and erase their data, so this is a good concept. But what I'm not understanding is just for phones and iPads, because the kiosk is only, you know, it's only so big, right? So when you said it has other devices, how are you going to handle that large devices and like a computer to go in a kiosk?
Yeah, so currently the prototype or the design that I showed you, those are only for phones and tablets. And when we're initially launching, we're only going to restrict them to those devices, just because in order for us to facilitate the recycling of like TVs and computers, it's going to be on a much bigger scale. So as we expand, we're not only going to scale up our production, but also the options that consumers have to recycle.
All right, thanks.
Like everyone said, fantastic idea. One of the things that I didn't see is the actual recycling component. So recycling rare metals is an incredibly difficult process, specifically because of the toxic chemicals that we had mentioned earlier. I didn't see a mention of where that would happen. Would you partner with an already established recycling plant, or would you start from scratch?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
So the question is, would you be partnering with existing plants that already do the recycling? Or would you be creating your own from scratch in addition to the kiosks?
Yeah, so we'll definitely be partnering with recycling facilities. So that's what I included on the revenue. I just included like the rough cost of, because we're going to be like recycling them all at once. So we just gather them and just send them to the facility. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would now like to welcome up Kushagra Sadwal with his Mr. MD project.
Good afternoon, all. Today I would like to present to you a product that I believe can help you stay connected with your exercise and help your muscles stay healthy while doing it. Introducing Mr. MD, the muscle movement detector. So this is a little bit about what we'll be covering today. So an introduction on myself. So hi, I'm Kasharga Sadwal. I'm a junior at West Windsor Plainsboro High School South, and I have a passion for robotics, and I'm currently an avid long-distance runner on my school's high school cross-country team. Being a member of the cross-country team, I've experienced and seen my fair share of muscle injuries. And the problem with muscle injuries is not only does it affect a student-athlete's athletic performance, but it also affects their academic performance. This is because of time. When a student-athlete gets an injury, they have to go through rigorous exercises which take time out of their day to possibly study or go to a physiotherapist. A physiotherapist takes a lot of time and money. That's what I'm looking to solve today. So the problem is there aren't any cheaper, inexpensive alternatives to like monitor your muscle health, and that's where Mr. MD comes in. Mr. MD is an elastic band, and on release we plan to have one size that fits all, that'll fit snug on your bicep or stretch to the size of maybe your thigh on your leg. The elastic band will be similar to a compression garment, and it'll be fitted with microchip and pressure and PPG sensors which will measure key metrics. These metrics will then be uploaded into the Mr. MD app, which will utilize AI to create a diagnostic and doctor report to tell you what your muscle looks like right now. Is it just sore? Is it healthy? Or is there a potential injury? You can also chat on our device with licensed professionals, and this is through one of our revenue models, which is subscription services. We have 3 subscription services, Basic, Pro, and Premium. So the Basic is for really people who exercise who are just looking for like simple data, like log of activity, key metrics such as heart rate or just the status of their muscle, and just want to use the app, and they can still chat with users on the community. Pros for more dedicated individuals who get every basic feature and also get doctors' reports by the AI and can chat with licensed professionals on our app. Our premium model are for more hardcore athletes and people suffering from chronic pain, come with all pro features, recommended diagnostics, and recovery plans which include recovery videos. So how does it work? After wearing the band, of course, the band will monitor and record and create an analytical report by interacting with AI. Basically, what the AI will do is use machine learning to look through thousands of doctor reports, and based on what you put into the app, such as the muscle you're measuring, possibly the sport or exercise you perform in, your health, weight, your age, all that, it'll create a very small range for how your muscle will look in a healthy state, sore state, or injury state. And based on that, based on the subscription plan you have, the app will give data which the customer can use to plan future activity or call a healthcare provider in case of indicative injury. And athletic gear needs to be hygienic, so this band is waterproof and washable. So onto our competitors and customer demographic. So our competitors are mainly doctors, fitness watches, and telemedicine. Doctors, of course, they're accurate, but they are not cheap, and it takes time to schedule and show up to an appointment. Telemedicine, while it may be quick, there are limitations for virtual consultation, and they aren't cheap as well. Fitness watches may be quick and cheap, but not only are they not accurate, the ones that are top of the line and accurate only come up with the metric of heart rate data. Our customer demographic is really anyone, those who are looking to differentiate between soreness or possible muscle injury. The reason why I think this product can be so successful is because our market is huge. In 2020 alone, nearly 50 million people participated in just the sports of running and jogging. So our business model. Of course, along with product and subscription revenue, we plan to market by giving samples to influencers, athletes, or wellness blogs to sample and demonstrate our product. We also strive to expand to all 50 states first and then to expand abroad. We also expand to reinvest into our technology because AI is a new concept, and as AI grows, so must our product. We also need to improve product accuracy. So currently, if we were to invest our sales into our like investors were to invest in us, how we would use that money is to manufacture and develop AI most forward so we can get a product out there and then focus on marketing. So in summary, at Mr. MD, we believe in giving 110% because of our next generation architecture, advanced monitoring technology, and enhanced AI-enabled insights. We plan to help people proactively manage their muscle health. We will thrive because of our technical expertise, financial acumen, and market knowledge, and great team behind our product. Stay connected and stay healthy with Mr. MD. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much for that presentation. Have you market tested your product name? Because I have to say, as a woman, Mr. MD, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, so of course this product is a concept, and something like name change is always for flexibility.
Great, thanks so much. So this is really interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about your competition and what resources are available today in the market in terms of wearable technology that could potentially, as you said, indicate whether or not my muscles are sore or injured?
So of course, there was doctors, of course, but in wearable technology, there's really nothing. That's what I think makes our product so great. It's the uniqueness of our product. I personally haven't seen anything. I have read reports on theoretical studies about this, which is why I believe it could be applicable to the market. But fitness watches, the only metric they measure is heart rate, and then something similar would just be like massaging technology, which is wearable, but it doesn't really give you any data on yourself.
Okay, so how do you know that it works, that the technology works? Does it exist?
Yeah, so I read a few reports, and the technology does exist. It just hasn't been made into a product yet, which is why I knew that PPG and pressure sensors were needed to be used.
Thank you.
No, I think great idea. I think AI and medicine is definitely the way of the future. I just think you have to really look at your cost and your revenue here, how you're driving the revenue. I think your subscription services, I think I saw it quickly, it was like $5 and $20. It seems really low if you compare it to other like services, because the doctor community that my friend owns a telemedicine company, and the cost of the doctors is pretty high. So how do you build a pricing model to make sure you make money, but also can pay the doctors to provide that service once they review the data?
So the manufacturing cost that I came up with was about $64 to $80, and then that would have a wholesale value of about $120. And I think that'd be at first be a good enough profit margin to the point where then we can start hiring licensed professionals for our app and product.
I still think you have to look at it, But again, good idea, great thought. Definitely AI is the way of the future with medicine, but just gotta look at your pricing model.
Just a point of clarification, you said $120 manufacturing. Is that for the band itself?
No, the $120 was the wholesale price. The band itself was $64 to $80, depending on how much compression, garment, and synthetic material we use.
So you'd be selling the band and the subscription to a consumer?
Yes.
Okay. One thing that I would ask as advice, do some more market research specifically on those sensors, particularly things like the Apple Watch as an example, to get oxygen metrics, etc. Took them a very long time. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind as the advice was given. That price might have to go up.
Yeah.
Beyond that, again, just keep in mind, because you're putting medical in the name, you're gearing it to be a medical device. Keep in mind that comes with HIPAA considerations, data privacy considerations, especially when you're talking about specific injuries to patients.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We would like to now invite up Jonathan DeCaro.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan DeCaro and I'm from Connecticut and a junior in 11th grade. My product is Know the Price. In Central America, it is the largest region for food exporting in terms of coffee, and 40% of the developing market labor force is agricultural workers like farmers. Many of them depend on farming as a form of economic livelihood, and it's the main source of their income. However, farmers face a big problem, and that is that they face limited access to market information, specifically market prices. When they go to sell their products, oftentimes they don't have access to the market prices when it's time to sell their products. Therefore, it's really hard for them to negotiate a price with buyers and middlemen. Often, it's a gamble when they go to set prices for their products when they're selling, because middlemen are able to take advantage of their unawareness, and they're able to set prices much farther below market prices, essentially exploiting them out of thousands of dollars every year. See, farmers have limited access to market price information, and so 3 out of 4 farmers in Central America are exploited because they don't have access to that market price information. This prevents farmers from living an economic livelihood that's strong, because many fall into poverty if they're being exploited out of the real market price. Over $240 billion are robbed from farmers every single year because their unawareness of market prices leaves them essentially exposed to the exploitation of middlemen who try to exploit them. The effect is far-reaching. We see it on our border almost every day, with immigrants fleeing from low opportunity and degrading economic survival in these countries and seeking to take the dangerous journey to illegally immigrate. Many even resort to drug work and gang assistance to make ends meet on their farms. And many even resort to pulling their children out of schools just so that they can conduct child labor in order to have enough labor to make ends meet. My solution is Know the Price, a mobile application that delivers market price information over SMS text messages. Essentially, the farmer simply inputs their phone number, the products that they grow on their farm, and where they're located in their currency, and every day they receive a text message on their phone about the market price for the products that they sell. Therefore, they're not left in the dark on the market price of the products that they're trying to sell, and they know exactly what they should be getting paid for when they go to middlemen who try to buy from them. Know the Price empowers farmers one text at a time every single day to fight exploitation and to get exactly what they deserve from middlemen and reach fair prices. This enables them to break free from poverty and live a strong economic survivalhood that enables them to stay in their region and survive on farming occupations. There's so much value when it comes to a text-based solution. Texts are cheap. When we're sending out these messages to farmers, there's no shipping involved, there's no manufacturing involved. It's simply a text message, which is really easy, simple, and doesn't cost a lot, and something that's really important when you're targeting developing markets. Another thing that's important is text messages can reach even those last mile communities. When we're looking at a developing market like Central America, a lot of these farmers can be based in rural communities. So it's important to have a product that's able to reach a lot of people with very easy logistical purposes. Another thing that's important is that it works across any phone. So no matter how simple your phone is, it's something very important in these developing markets, you're able to receive a text message and you're able to sign up on the mobile application. Another thing that's very useful in Know the Price is that it uses accurate data from government sources, and it uses data from Fair Trade International in order to give these farmers credible price sources. Furthermore, it's incredibly simple to use. Text messages are something that anyone with a smartphone is able to interpret and understand no matter your technological skill ability. The next thing that's really important is pricing. Obviously, looking at a developing market, these people don't have a large budget to spend on products, especially if they're being exploited. And so it's really important that we have a product that's low priced. On the back end, it costs us 2 cents every month per user to send out text messages to them daily with the information that we have. This is a really low cost because a lot of these farmers aren't on larger text message platforms. Instead, they use WhatsApp. And there's a lot of services and infrastructure that we're able to leverage in order to bring the cost down super low to 2 cents per user per month. And we use a subscription-based model to bring in money, which is around $4 per month, something that's accessible with limited budgets that farmers have. So in order to looking at our market, there's a lot of farmers, like I mentioned, that are in Central America. However, the way we bring that down is we look at a specific country, which is Guatemala, which has around 6 million farmers, and then we bring that down to farmers who are in the central region of Guatemala called Alta Ver Perez, and then we look at specifically coffee farmers and then farmers who have mobile connections, which brings us from a 6 million person market to a concentrated 144,000 person market. The most advantageous characteristics of this market is that, one, it has a lot of mobile connections. In Guatemala, it's experienced a near double of mobile connections in the past decade, which has enabled a lot of users to have mobile phones and be able to access a product of this nature. Another thing that's really important is that studies show coffee farmers are most susceptible to exploitation, which means if we target coffee farmers, they're going to be the right people that experience the right challenges who would want a product of this nature. And furthermore, Guatemala, specifically Alta Ver Perez, has the highest concentration geographically in Central America of coffee farmers, which makes it the right location to target.
Hey, Jonathan, you need to start wrapping up.
Okay, thank you. Overall, Know the Price empowers farmers one text message at a time and enables them to break out of poverty and sustain an economic livelihood through text messages. Thank you. I'll now accept questions.
There we go. I think it's a great idea. I'm from Central America myself. Coffee production is pretty big there. Love the accessibility portion of it. I would say, how are you making money in particular having your staff researching and sending out those texts, right? Because yes, it is just getting the data, but you're doing daily updates on a market that is incredibly volatile depending on market conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. So the back-end operations is actually very simple. So essentially we take data sources from government agricultural departments and Fair Trade International. And so we don't have to specifically do a high in-depth amount of data research, but kind of be in tune with the current researchers who are on the ground and have the verified information. And so then we take that data and we automatically are able to create text messages that are able to look at those databases and integrate that into our platform, and then we're able to send text messages automatically based on using that data. And so it's not like a staff team that sends out text messages every day. It's automatic, and it uses credible data that's already produced by field workers.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, interesting idea. So what made you come up with this?
Well, I'm Brazilian American, and I'm really inspired on how entrepreneurship can meet society and a lot of the development goals that we have. And poverty is one of the goals that I'm specifically concerned with And so when I set out to make this, I really wanted to target a population that was close to home for me, but also a population that would benefit from entrepreneurship meeting their societal goals in a really simple, low-cost way.
And where did you do your research to identify the problem?
Yeah, absolutely. So last summer, I was a Pioneer Research Scholar with the Pioneer Academics. It's basically a fellowship program that rewards high school students, professor mentors to help them do an original research study. And so my research study involved looking at how agricultural farmers in Central America, specifically Guatemala, faced unfair trade practices. And so I interviewed a lot of these farmers, and a lot of them told me that they were being exploited by middlemen and that they needed some way to get market price information that was accurate and simplified.
Thanks.
This idea has the potential for great impact, so I congratulate you. Don't quote me on this, but I think a very similar program was launched in India not too long ago, where they were trying to inform the farmers so that they could go into negotiations with the middlemen who were fully informed and able to negotiate better. Have you thought about launching this as a nonprofit instead of as a for-profit organization? And if not, why not?
Yeah. In terms of approaching this from a nonprofit perspective, I think it's really important for entrepreneurship to have some sort of profitability, especially when dealing with social problems, so that there is a proven opportunity for business to be successful even when addressing problems, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a nonprofit. But I think this, like you said, there might be a project in India. I think it's really important for this project to be in Latin America because we do see a lot of results in terms of child labor, in terms of drug operations assistance, and in terms of people forced to immigrate really long distances.
Great. Thank you so much, Jonathan. That was extremely well-informed. Love the research. One thing that I was wondering during your presentation is you're going to be able to know the price by looking at the government resources and the fair trade resources that essentially set the market prices. Why don't the farmers have access to that?
Yeah, so a lot of the times market prices are fluctuating, right? They're not stable, and so when they change, it's hard for farmers to keep up to date. And it's also limited technology means, like I said, a lot of them have simple phones, and so it's really hard for them to kind of research on their own, and it's hard for them to lead with certainty and knowing that the research, if they can research, is that correct? Many farmers, when I was talking to them and interviewing them, they're looking for something simple, straightforward, that they can lead with certainty with, and that doesn't require a lot of operations on their end.
Okay, so in addition to knowledge, you're selling convenience, essentially.
Yes, absolutely.
Great, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. We would now like to invite up Akshaya Venkatesh.
Good evening, judges and ladies and gentlemen. By a show of hands, how many of you have experienced your clothing not fitting you properly? Okay, great to hear. Well, my name is Akshaya Venkatesh, and I would love to introduce you today to Custom Couture, a tailor shop that offers unique tailoring services to make clothing fit more comfortably and properly for the users. So looking at our services, we have split our services into two distinct product lines to not only organize our services to make them more distinct, but better organize our marketing efforts. So the main USP for this company is offering tailoring services for ethnic clothing, because in our day, we see that a lot of people come from a variety of cultural backgrounds, but there's not ready access to tailoring services that cater to the unique needs of this clothing. So that is what my company specializes in. We also offer tailoring services for contemporary clothing to make our target market more broad. So looking at the ethnic tailoring service line, so the first service is tailoring, hemming, and sewing to make clothing fit more properly for the customer. And then I actually brought an Indian garment with me today. This is called a sari. This one is made of cotton. And when the customer wears a sari, they create pleats in the sari as the picture shows. And a common problem is creating these pleats because when saris are made of materials such as silk and cotton, this is an extremely difficult task to complete. So we have a service to actually do that for the customer. And we also offer washing and stain removal because these garments are often made of fabrics that are not able to be machine washed. So we carefully wash this to make sure they maintain the quality. And then bespoke creations. So bespoke is a word in the fashion industry that means customizable to a user. So if a customer comes to us wanting to create an outfit from scratch, we have experienced employees who can make their outfit a reality. Our contemporary service line is much of the same services, but for modern, everyday clothing. And looking at some of the loyalty programs that we offer subscription-based memberships for specific services that customers may need more on a daily basis, and punch card programs and points programs. These really incentivize repeat purchases and encourage brand loyalty. This will make customers choose us over other tailoring services in the area. Next, our market analysis. You can follow along in the handout as well. So I conducted a survey with some of my peers and the adults in my area asking general questions about issues that they face with their clothing. And a majority of people answered that they do experience issues with clothing fitting properly and comfortably. And I also posed an open-ended question asking people what issues they face with ethnic clothing. And as you can see with the bullets and on your sheet, there are a lot of issues. A couple months ago, actually, I was at an Indian cultural gathering, and I noticed a lot of the women discussing how long it takes them to put on their saris with the intensive pleating and the work that it requires. And that really gave me the inspiration to come up with this because there's obviously a strong market need for this. There's a huge ethnic population in Chester County, which I'm going to talk about now. There's a great proliferation of the Asian population in Chester County, and looking at the census reports, there is a 17.5% total ethnic population in our area. And with the strong market need, this has a ton of potential in this market. So I organized my marketing plan into a most analysis, and due to time's sake, I'm not going to go too much into each of the individual components, but I would like to talk about some of the individual tactics. So for publicity marketing, I would like to really showcase the services that I offer in a lot of cultural events because there are a lot of cultural events that happen in our area. And for public relations, I would like to do an annual clothing drive. Akuwat's Clothes Bank is a organization that donates clothes to low-income families, and they also accept ethnic clothing donations. So our tagline is, "You aren't made to fit clothes, clothes are made to fit you." Our brand promise really prioritizes inclusivity and customization to client needs. Looking at some human resources things. Oh, I don't know why I did that. But we will be hiring experienced and inexperienced tailors who are looking to apply creative skills and learn on the job because we are going to be providing a variety of ethnic tailoring services, so we're going to need to have employees who can learn about different types of clothing. And for the bespoke creations, we'll be hiring employees from the gig economy because with these projects, they'll require a lot of expertise. And people, like aspiring fashion designers, are looking to build a career expertise and learn more. And I did some research into what gig economy employees really prioritize. And they prioritize autonomy, flexibility, and independence. So they would join our company for a short period of time or even just a single project to do this work for us, and then we would pay them accordingly. Okay, looking at some of the financials into the startup cost. So for ownership, I would like to establish my company as an LLC because we are going to be handling very valuable clothing. And in the fashion industry, there's obviously risks with handling such things. So an LLC will protect me from any potential liabilities. Insurance and payroll. For the payroll, we will be paying the gig economy employees on a project basis or however long they are going to plan on staying with us. For capital expenditures, sewing machines, dress forms, chairs, desks, and I only included some of them up there, but there are obviously other expenditures I will need to have, such as utilities and and yarn, fabrics, obviously all of those things. And a brick and mortar location I actually found on 650 West Euclid Avenue, Exton. This is actually smack dab in the middle of Downingtown and Chester Springs, which are very heavily populated with, concentrated with ethnic people. So this is a great way for me to reach my target market. And a quick feasibility study I conducted through a SWOT analysis. So my strengths are that there's limited, okay. Yeah, I can just wrap it up like right there. But as investors, you all obviously aim to invest into companies poised for strong long-term growth, and Custom Couture has a strong USP, strong potential in this market, and a lot of passion behind it. So I thank you so much for your time today, and please let me know if you have any questions.
It takes a little while to warm up, sorry.
Don't worry.
So thank you so much for this presentation. You did kind of touch on it a little bit, but I recently read that there is a huge shortage of tailors and people who know how to sew. And so can you talk a little bit about how you plan to hire your employees and how you plan to keep them and train them?
Okay, so there's obviously fashion institutes and things like that where people are actually studying tailoring and looking to apply creative skills. So we're going to be looking for employees in places like that where they could come to us for specific projects. Even short term is all right, because a lot of the people coming fresh out of college are looking to gain experience and build what they already know, build on what they already know. So that is one place that we might look for some of our employees.
Thank you.
Great, thanks. And we can definitely see the passion behind it, so that's awesome. One of the things that I was wondering, if you can touch a little bit more about your competition and what differentiates you from another more ethnic tailor shop in like a local community. I understand what you're saying about the difference between just a random one, but.
Okay, so that's totally a fair question. So there are some, I noticed some Indian tailoring services in Chester County, but they're more removed from the Exton area that I was talking about, so there's not many in this specific area. But mainly what differentiates me is the broad services. It's ethnic services as a whole. So something I didn't really get to touch on is for potential future opportunities, I would think about expanding to international shipping and things like that, where I could potentially ship garments and ship tailored things worldwide. So by having our employees learn about varieties of ethnic clothing other than just Indian clothing, this is really the differentiating factor in custom couture. That makes sense.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Well, we're good, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Akshaya. Now we would like to invite Rachel Makoko.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rachel Makoko, and this is my business pitch, Mercs. First off, I believe every business has an origin story, and this is my origin story, which began this summer on August 11, 2023. This summer, a girl group that I really like decided to come tour New Jersey at around my birthday. So I decided for my 15th birthday that I wanted to go to their concert. Under normal circumstances, my dad would just drive me to the concert and then I could have my concert from there. However, this summer, while on a road trip to Pennsylvania, our car broke down. So this left me stranded and I need to find like another mode of transportation in order to go to this concert. So I live in Jersey City, New Jersey. And the concert was at MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. As you can see up here, the distance from Jersey City to MetLife Stadium isn't far. It's about 7 miles, and it's like a 50-minute car ride without any traffic. So now let's look at the option that I had to go to the concert. Option number 1, which is our good old friend, the American Public Transportation System. You would think as someone who lives so close to MetLife Stadium, there will be a bus that goes directly to the stadium, but you're wrong. The only bus that goes directly to MetLife Stadium is located in New York City. So this will mean I, as someone who lives in Jersey City, I first need to take a bus to go to New York City, and then from New York City, I can finally hop on a coach bus, which would take me to MetLife Stadium. As you hear, this is obviously not very time effective, and it will take me a very long time to get there. It will take around 2 to 3 hours, but the cost is relatively low. Now let's look at the second option, which is renting a car. Just because I don't have a car anymore, that doesn't mean my dad can't drive. So my dad could totally still rent out a car for one day just to drive me to the stadium, and then so I could have a nice birthday. The time it takes is 40 minutes, so it's very time efficient, but the cost is quite high. It will cost $100 and my dad's sleeping schedule, so it's a little sacrifice my dad has to make in order to make me happy. Now let's look at the third option, which is the best friend of anyone who can't drive, Uber and Lyft. I could always just take an Uber to the concert. That's always an option that's available. However, anyone who has taken Uber or used the Uber platform know that Uber does this thing called price surge. So whenever there's a lot of people trying to go to one place and there isn't enough driver, Uber surge their price to exponentially. As you can see over here, it will cost like $100-something just to get there. I checked before going to the concert. The Uber fare was around $50. Some people might not think it's a lot of money, just $50 as an Uber ride, but I want to put this into a different perspective. My ticket was only $40, so I will actually be spending more money just getting to the concert than the actual concert itself, and that's not even including the fare of coming back. So that's why I thought of Merx. Merx is a carpooling event for large events such as concert and sports game only. Merx serves as a platform that will connect two people going to the same event. A car person, which is someone like me who's stranded, a carpooler, which is someone like me who is stranded and looking for a mode of transportation, and a driver, which is a person with a vehicle that is driving to the event. A carpooler would be connected to a driver that is within a 5-mile radius of them, and together they would decide on the time and the destination they want to meet up, and they could carpool to the event together. As a carpooler using Merx, you actually have to pay the driver a commission fee, and then you have to pay Merx a servicing fee for connecting you to the driver. Now this brings us to the problem about why Merx. Well, number one, we're cheaper. The whole purpose of Merx is so that we don't have to pay the ridiculous charge-off fee of Uber. And since the driver are going to the same place as us, there's really no reason for us to charge an extremely high price. And number two, the second reason, which is bonding. There has never ever been an Uber ride in my life where I talk to the Uber driver for more than 10 words, and like a ride to the concert is quite long. So if you take an Uber, this is about to be like a pretty long, awkward, silent drive. Merx is different. Since the driver and the carpooler are going to the same event, they have the same interests. So this means they will have a topic to talk about while going to a car ride. I have seen it with my very own eyes at school about how two people that never talk to each other because there was a Taylor Swift concert in New Jersey not so long ago, and they just began having a whole conversation about that. Thank you, everyone, for listening to my presentation, and I'm ready for present.
There it goes. Well, thank you so much. I totally can relate to your frustration with Uber and Lyft and the surge pricing, and it made a lot of sense. What kind of pricing model are you thinking of for Mercs?
For Mercs, I think the pricing depend on the distance, about how far you're from the actual stadium. So for like someone who live within like a 10-mile radius of the stadium, I think it would be fair to charge like to pay the driver of a $30 commission fee, and then we as Mercs will take $5 as a service fee.
Great, thank you so much. This is a really fun idea, and I definitely see how it could be viable. One of the things I was wondering, so with these driving services, I know that there's always a chicken and egg problem, right? You need drivers, but you also need the people being driven in order for the service to work. So I was wondering about your marketing in terms of how have you thought about solving that problem? And have you thought about maybe connecting with venues to potentially market this service for you?
I think there's two main marketing venues for this. Number one is Facebook, which is Facebook will connect to the parents. Actually, most most people who go to these large concert events are actually college students that actually doesn't have a car, so they rely on their parent driving them. So my first advertisement will obviously be on YouTube, so I can connect to the parents and tell them there's this, so the parents can tell their kids there's this service that can bring them on into, that can bring them to these events. And the second advertising revenue will be through Instagram, since obviously this ad is targeting young people who can't drive or people without a car, so I feel like Instagram would be the most effective method to reach the student.
And one follow-up really quick, have you thought about like background checks or the safety component?
Well, number one, to be a driver on this platform, you obviously need like a you need to verify your ticket, and there will be you need your driver IDs and everything, and we will obviously conduct a private background check on the driver.
Thank you.
I think, a good idea. I think it's interesting. I think you got to work on your financials, all right? Because obviously, with this model, it's Uber-like, right? There's a high customer acquisition cost. Uber took, 10 years, I think, to make money. I think they make money now, but they took quite a long time to do it. So you have to think about how you're going to make money out of this. And sometimes, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, meaning you don't have to create the Uber service itself. Maybe you can be add-on to Uber or like services versus you creating the app from scratch.
Number one, I believe this have a really low operational cost because this is a small app. It's not like a large-scale company. Like Twitter is running on only 1,000 employees. This does not need a lot of employees, and I believe this is like the perfect college engineering kid project. So like this engineering kid will actually build their own web development and everything.
I don't think that's the issue. It's the acquiring the customer, right? How do you acquire the customer and market to the customer? That's what Uber spent all their money on, ad dollars to acquire the customer and the driver.
Well, I don't plan on this app becoming big. I don't need to make a lot of money from this. This is not like a public company where we have a tons of investors to impress. This is just a small scale app. So there's really not a lot of need to make a lot of revenues.
So I think, again, it's a very fun concept. It's a very fun idea. Definitely keep in mind all the advice you've gotten so far. One of the things that I would look to is also maybe looking at particular cars that are more valuable. So if someone is driving, let's say, they just happen to live in an apartment complex where a lot of people want to go to Taylor Swift, for example, right? And they're the only ones with the van. Maybe they get a bit more payment than someone who's driving a sedan. Just food for thought in terms of that pricing model to incentivize the person to take on more people.
Oh, yeah, while I was going to the concert, I noticed that most car seats are actually empty, so it's just a front row with a driver and a passenger, so they actually have a lot of space for to carry on people. So yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Now we would like to invite Kevin Zhang.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kevin Jung from Northampton High School. In my high school career, I found it really difficult to find extracurricular opportunities, such as volunteer opportunities, summer programs, internships, and competitions. Most of these opportunities I learned about were through other people. In fact, I would not have even known about this wonderful Seton Hall Pirates pitch competition if it was not for my business club advisor, Mr. Thompson. I am fortunate enough to know all these wonderful people who can provide me with, who are well informed about these opportunities. However, millions of high school students across the nation do not have access to these resources. It is both time-consuming and frustrating to find a perfect opportunity. Similarly, organizations which provide excellent extracurricular opportunities struggle to find candidates due to their lack of awareness. Introducing AzerStar, a comprehensive, dynamic, one-stop website and app specifically for high school extracurricular opportunities. AzerStar produces tailored recommendations based on your interests and constraints, improving accessibility to these opportunities while saving time and a lot of hair pulling. AzerStar also has a networking feature that allows users to interact in same interest communities. AzerStar empowers students to enhance their educational career and equalize the higher educational divide. Regarding your name and logo, I took inspiration from the quintessential element known as Azer, which is the upper air, or light. Likewise, AzerStar is the essential dynamic compendium for high school opportunities. Our logo comes from the reciprocal function 1 over x, which represents infinite opportunities. Regarding our content, AzerStar will offer information, but is not limited to these following categories: community service and volunteering, internships, part-time jobs, academic competitions, arts, sports, and tutoring. Additionally, AzerStar will provide forums for you to be able to discuss with like-minded peers, as well as a ranking system to determine which of similar opportunities are more suited. Regarding our target market, there are around 650 million youths aged 14 and 19 worldwide. However, our current focus will be the 15 million high school students in the United States. AzerStar's growth plan is broken down into 3 sub-stages: startup, growth, and mature. During our startup stage, which lasts around 6 to 12 months, AzerStar will identify and provide on-demand features, as well as offer complementary services. Development and maintenance will be kept in-house to minimize costs. Now, here's the breakdown of our marketing strategy. We'll use search engine optimization, social media, referral programs, and advertisement to expand our brand awareness, as well as our website traffic. During the high growth stage, AzerStar will be implementing advertisement charges, as well as premium memberships, which we will get to in a little bit. We will also, as a result of our aggressive marketing strategy, which was highlighted in the previous slide, our user base will begin to expand rapidly. Now, regarding our earnings models, we have 2 main parts where our revenue comes from. The first is advertisement revenue from potential organizations looking to expand their outreach. Our second part is our premium membership, which we will explain in the next slide. Finally, we have something known as Star Shards, which is an in-app currency which can temporarily unlock premium features. Star Shards are earned by contributing to the platform. In our free level, you get the fundamental searching features, as well as gentle automated reminders about, hey, this opportunity is about to end. In our Lodestar, which is our premium feature, priced at $9.99 per month, we'll be offering a full fleet of our AzerStar tools, including our Star Builder, AI-powered resume developer. Finally, during our mature stage, we will continue to grow our user base through our aggressive marketing strategy, and this is when we will be entering the international market. We will also be approaching larger sponsors, like, for example, Nike and sportswear, to see if we can gain sponsorships, as well as increase our premium user base. Regarding our financial projections, by year 5, we are projected to have over 2.6 million active users, $19 million in revenue, and $11 million in profits. Regarding our competition, mainly we see it as from online counseling resources, private consultants, LinkedIn, and College Confidential. First of all, these private consultants vary very much in the depth and breadth of their information and are so much more costlier than what AZSTAR is currently providing. Second of all, these online resources are very cumbersome to use and are no much better than just finding it yourself. Finally, LinkedIn and College Confidential are more pertaining to the professional career market and college life rather than high school students. AZSTAR will lead the charge in empowering today's youth. I'm Kevin Jung, and this is AZSTAR. Thank you.
Hey, Kevin. Great presentation. I was wondering, you mentioned subscription. Is that subscription for the services, let's say, a youth club that wants members, or is that a subscription that a student looking to join things would be paying?
Could you repeat the question, please?
So who would be paying the subscription? The organizations or the students?
The students would be paying for the subscription service.
Gotcha. Is there any plans for charging organizations to advertise on your platform?
Yes. Initially, we will keep it free to increase the number of advertisers that come to our platform and share their information. But later on, during our second stage, we will be implementing advertisement charges.
Thank you.
Hey, Kevin, good presentation.
Thank you.
So how have you thought of getting the data to localize this, right? So this is like a teen LinkedIn, which is basically connecting teens and young adults together and providing them a area where they can explore activities that they can do. So where are you going to get that data from, and how do you localize it to where they are?
Thank you. That's a great question. So we'll be getting our data from 3 different parts. The first one will be, as during our first stage, advertisements will be free. So naturally, organizations will invest, because there's no cost, they will be able to put their information on our website, and that contributes to the amount of information that we get on our website. Second of all, we have our Star Shards program, which allow users to contribute to our platform, and in return, they gain this in-app currency, which allows them to temporarily unlock premium features. So they earn this by contributing to the platform, in their information. For example, hey, I volunteered at this organization before, and I found it a really great experience, and I'll tell you a little bit of my experience as an alumni per se. Finally, we'll be also using AI-powered tools to help us get information from webs, crawl through the web. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. And what have you thought about from a ramp-up period? Obviously, you got to get customers, right? And you got to get some sort of likeness for the app from this customer base. So what is that ramp-up period have you thought about in your acquisition strategy?
Could you repeat the question again?
What's your acquisition strategy to acquire customers?
So if we go back. So we use search engine optimizations to make ourselves one of the most prominent results. We'll also be using social media. This is a big part of our marketing strategy. We will, make our own videos. We also partner up with popular educational social media channels. I understand there's a lot of really good educational YouTubers, such as Mark Rober. So potentially we could be connecting with them to promote our services. We also have advertisements online for work websites. And we also have a referral program. Hey, if you refer it, you can get you and your friend can get each 3 months free of our premium membership. So naturally, these combinations all put together in this a really aggressive way can really push the amount of users onto our website really quickly.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for your presentation. I wonder, though, have you thought about the problem that a lot of the dating apps have run into, where if you're a good dating app, you've matched 2 people and they're happy and off they go, and they're not dating anybody anymore, so they stop their subscription? Or you don't match people, they get mad and they drop your subscription. So how are you going to keep people subscribing after they found their 2 or 3 activities that they want to do?
That's a great question. Thank you. Regarding that, first of all, for successful opportunities, it's more like a continuous thing. Like once you start with something, it may end. Like for example, you do a summer program. Once the summer program ends, well, there's always next year. You need to keep on thinking about next year. So naturally, they'll be happy. They'll come back to our website again for like next year's round, and then they'll try again. Or like, because these opportunities are very much dynamic. Some of them come up and like, some of them are like taken. So naturally, it's a very dynamic playing field. And regarding like if users are mad, like we will like try to like offer them like if you weren't happy, like we want your feedback and maybe we can like help you like offer like a little bit of like incentives, like some of our star charts to keep them coming back or at least like reconsidering our website.
Great, thank you. And since we're about to be out of time, I'll just leave you with a few thoughts that I have in my head about this. To Sunny's question, maybe advertising or in order to actually get users, going directly to the high schools, partnering with local high schools, reaching out to guidance counselors maybe, thinking about who maybe your target market would be talking to find access to these resources could help as a partnership. And also in terms of actually generating revenue, I understand that students would be the users, but I wonder if parents would actually be the customers who are taking the money out of their pockets so that their students, so that their children can pay for these things. So that's just something to think about in the future. Great job.
Thank you.
Wow, what impressive students, what amazing ideas. Now, the tough part comes for our judges. Judges, and Dr. McRae, I know you'll lead everyone to room 132, where you will start deliberating, and I will join you there soon. Audience, and also our live stream audience, we will now have the Audience Choice Award, where you're going to take out your cell phones, you're going to vote for your favorite team, and I'm going to ask Annie to come up, and she is going to explain how you do that, and we'll have about 5 minutes for you to make your choices. So good luck, everyone. This is going to be tough for everyone.
Okay, welcome to the fun part of tonight. Now we're gonna have our Audience Choice Award. So message that number, 650-600-9016, and then pick your favorite from this side. And then in 5 minutes, we're gonna stop the voting and decide who's the Audience Choice winner. Okay, 2-minute warning, only 2 minutes left to get your votes in. Sometimes there's bad service in here, so you might have to go outside to get the text to go through. Just letting you know. Thirty seconds. Olivia. Okay, we're gonna stop it there. You'll find out who won and after the judges come back.
Okay, is the audience choice award over?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I have good news, everyone. I would like to invite you while we wait out into the lobby area where we're serving a light dinner. So please join us out there, have something to eat, and we'll be 4 to 5 when we come back with the results in about 15, 20 minutes. So please, they've just finished setting up, and I'd like to invite you out. So
sitting in honors, really the first semester, sometimes it's almost frightening to see like, wow, these people are so smart.
During my time at Seton Hall, I did 6 internships, 3 study abroads. I was involved with the Leadership Honors Program at the Business School. I was a research assistant at the Market Research Center, and I was managing editor of the Stillman Exchange.
Because of Seton Hall's location, as well as the speakers they bring on campus, I've been able to hear the speeches of Susan Rice, Michelle Obama, Ban Ki-moon. I was lucky to meet Madeleine Albright and interview her.
I'm looking now to see where people are going. I mean, some of my friends are going to Oxford, to Harvard, getting
to call Elizabeth McCrae, Dr. McCrae up here. She's one of our entrepreneurship faculty, and she's going to represent the judges in telling you, how they came to their decisions, and give you some insights into the process. So, Dr. McCrae.
Thank you, Susan. First of all, to the parents and the supporters, the guardians and family members, friends, you must be so proud of your students because, oh my goodness, they made our job really, really hard. We had some interesting debates, and it was like a roller coaster ride in there. But we did have to narrow it down to 2. But I just wanted to share that it was extremely difficult, and we're very proud of all of you. You should be really happy and very, I keep using the word proud, but I guess there's no other word, of the hard work and the accomplishments that you have demonstrated tonight. And we thank you for sharing your wonderful ideas with us. Got us thinking of lots of new ideas and insights for ourselves, and I want to thank you for your time. Susan?
I'd also like to remind everybody that every finalist is a winner today because you all get at least a $4,000 scholarship to Seton Hall. If you choose to come here, then that would be on top of any merit scholarship aid that you receive from the school. So. Our Audience Choice Award, Rafael Flores.
I'd like to give a shout out to my team down at Don Bosco, Patrick Donahue, Ryan Riani, and then also Peter McCarra. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. And now for second place. Susan. Second place. And now for second place, Gary Cuscetti. Excuse me. Gary Cuscetti. And congratulations. Congratulations. And now, our first place winner, Kevin Zhang. And Kevin, a few words?
I would like to thank my family for coming out and supporting me today, especially my dad. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank my school and my business club advisor, Mr. Thompson, for making all of this possible and really sharing all these opportunities with me. Thank you.
Great. Oh, yeah, and Gary, we forgot to ask you to come and say a few words, too. In all our excitement, okay.
I'd like to say a few words. So I want to thank my mom for coming here and supporting me today. And also I would like to just make a shout out to Seton Hall for giving me this opportunity today. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, everyone, finalists, we want you all to stay and come on stage. We're going to take pictures of all of you. We're going to start by taking pictures of the students with the checks. We're going to move this out of the way, or oh, okay, great. We don't need to. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. Oh, did I? Okay, great. And then